Los Condenados. All right, something like that. Apologies for my horrible, horrible pronunciation. By oh, I gotta go find the thread. This one is by Riotous, aka Sam. All right, let's go swap courses. All right. Ooh, we got a Delta themed one. Don't think I think this might be the first Delta one I've seen in the rookie contest so far, which is great. I always dig a good Delta course. All right. So first off, opening tee shots framed nicely. I like the idea behind the kind of waist bunkers. Um, I think sculpting wise, it could be smoothed out a little bit. It seems a little, just like a little severe and haphazard, but not bad either. Um, let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Overall environment looks good. Solid opening hole. Oh, also disclaimers time. Um, Everything in this, playthrough is obviously just my opinion, which, means as little as you want it to. Um, yeah, and it's just a kind of stream of consciousness thing, so I'm just gonna kind of point out everything that I see, whether it's, an issue or not, or if it's just tiny nitpicky things, or, I'm giving you all the info I'm gonna, I can in a playthrough, and you can do whatever you want with it. So let's see here. I don't know, like, not the biggest fan of this retaining wall. It doesn't seem totally necessary. Get down. Um, yeah, like it sits really low, which is kind of funny. I would probably raise the green up just a little bit. And it's one of those where like the retaining wall doesn't follow the edge of the green, so it's just it that might be why it looks a little haphazard. But as far as I think the sculpting around the retaining wall could be tweaked. As far as the actual retaining wall itself, it looks like it's pretty well done. I like the you know. So the actual retaining wall execution is good. Maybe the concept behind it, yeah, could be touched up a bit, and the sculpting that complements it could be touched up a touch. Kind of repetitive, but you get the point. All right, yeah. So far, I think I'm digging the vibe for this course. Yeah, I mean, again, you're allowed to do different stuff with different holes, but that first hole you gave me like all these big waste bunkers, and on this hole it's a lot more like you give me just a couple like these little tight, small manicured bunkers, which both are executed fine. I just as in terms of thematically, it just I wanna You can mix it up, but I usually feel like it flows better if the bunkering style is consistent throughout. That and I'm looking at this hole going, it asks you to take on this dog leg, and the entire hole is set up to protect this dog leg, and then just kind of slopes away from you so that you can't hit it. That's kind of a wonky tee shot. It feels like it's just arbitrarily punishing you. Because I'm not, like if you want to force a layup there are better ways to force a layup than to create something that, you know, you're inviting the player to go for and then just punishing them for it. Again, you want to punish people who take an aggressive play and hit a bad shot. Just not for people who hit or take an aggressive play and hit any shot. All right, and we've kind of gone back to the what do you want to call it? The kind of waste bunkery style. I think these look a little cleaner to me than the ones on the first hole. Like sculpting wise, I think I'm definitely digging that front one. Not 100% on this. I don't know. It's probably uphill enough. I don't think I can reach there. Well, we've got some tailwind. Let's give it a go. Worst case, I'm kind of have to lay up anyway. Okay, so yeah, there's another one where I, you offer a strategy off the tee that just isn't doable. So there really wasn't any point in offering that as a strategy anyways. Now, what if I was out this way? Like if I hit my tee shot here, well then yeah, I don't know. I don't think those trees should be on the inside of this hole, because then you're just potentially arbitrarily punishing people who lay up to the conservative spot. Like, in terms of execution, this is like the sculpting on this hole is nice, the visuals are nice, all of that's done well. I don't get the whole concept for this one. It feels like the last one. Like I liked the whole concept of the last one if you just set up that dogleg area so that, so the tee shot isn't being arbitrarily punished. This hole feels a bit kind of arbitrary in general. There's just a lot of stuff going on, and I don't know what I'm doing with the camera. So, considering that this is pretty much, I don't know, since you can't really make this fairway outside of like a tailwind, like this is gonna be a 3-shot par 5 most of the time. In which case, like this is a massive green to be hitting a wedge into. It's, this, like even for a gettable in 2 par 5 that you're hitting like fairways into, this is just a really big green. I don't think there's any reason that this green needs to be this large, especially for wedge shots. Like I would make this probably way smaller. You can make a big green work, but I don't think this is the spot for it. Stop it. No. Yeah, sorry, my cat keeps batting at my microphone. I don't know. Maybe I'm a softie. I keep giving him timeout outside, but I don't necessarily feel like just locking him out in the other room the entire evening, especially since I'm only home for, home and awake for a couple hours. He just wants some attention. All right. Definitely digging this hole visually. Like this is a really cool look. Like it's like those bunkers look pretty spectacular. The entire hole is framed very nicely. I I don't know that you need the fence. Yeah, I don't mind it though. And the green complex looks cool. Yeah, I think this this probably could be a candidate for best hole in the course. Oh, go in. Definitely so far, but like this is a good high water mark in terms of visual interest and playing interest. Like this is a grade A awesome hole. Props on that one. All right. Yeah, this is another one where the just like this the narrow fairway here is enough of a you know like that should be the challenge here, and then you make it so that you're hitting driver into an area that's just absolutely untenable. Like this is another hole where you can't hold the fairway with anything other than like a fairway. Like you basically have to lay up on this long par five because there's no way that you can hold driver into that fairway. Oh, that's going way right. All right, out of bounds. Not the end of the world, but I'd probably mark it or something. Like, it makes sense to have out of bounds like down that cliff, but it kind of. Let's see what we got. Yeah, like it kind of encroaches a little on the hole itself. So I would just I'd probably just mark the spots that are OB. There's at least some visual warning. Yeah, so far it looks like I don't know. I feel like the theme of this one is going to be like all the mechanics of the designer you have down pretty well. Like the execution has been really good so far in terms of just, sculpting, planting, surfacing, all that sort of thing. But there's just some kind of wonky concepts in here where I think the whole ideas might need some fine tuning. I don't mind courses that play hard, but this one seemed like it's hard. It's difficult doing a course that plays hard and is still fair and reasonable. And the struggle here has been this one feels a little arbitrary in how it doles out its punishment. Let's see. Hmm. I like the rock wall is an interesting idea, but it really just kind of stands out to me. Like it doesn't feel like it fits per se because there's not it doesn't fit in with the rest of the environment. It's like, okay, well, here's how I'm planting all of the area around the course, and now there's this big rock wall with all these like chicken nugget looking boulders, I guess. I mean, it's well executed. It just doesn't quite fit its surroundings. Oh, this is gonna get interesting. Oof. Yeah, ooh, that slope's massive. Ooh, I'm gonna do a stupid just 'cause I'm curious. I'm wondering if you end up like on the green, but on the wrong slope, if this hole's even puttable. 7 feet, oof. Let's give this a go. Yeah, there's physically no way that you can. If you end up on the wrong tier, you physically cannot put it up the second one. You probably want to dial that slope way back. Let's see here for a sec. Whoops. Real? Yes, I know. Yeah, this is a solid looking hole. Um, you could probably make that apron a little bigger, make it kind of fit the contours. Like you could pull it out to the, like I'd pull it out to the left here. You know, you want to fill the area. You know, like you have all this space that is golf course. You know, where there's heavy rough and whatnot, but you just have this tiny little tongue, like it, you know, like this green sticking its tongue out at you. So I'd just make the, you know, you don't have to make the neck bigger, but you can make the apron bigger so it fills up the space. And Rockwall's solid. I might mix up the boulder you use and some of the sizes, because it's got a little bit of that, like the chicken nugget thing going again. It's not terrible. It just, I don't know. It's a nitpicky thing of, it doesn't, like, to me it's just a little distracting. 'Cause I think you could do just fine using just like the natural terrain. Might be okay for some of your cliffs, like you do on the other one over there. Like Delta's good for that kind of thing. Oh, we're gonna go explore the chicken nugget boulders. Yeah, I mean, in terms of like just pure, um, like designer mechanics and stuff, like, I think you've done a really solid job on this one. Like um, like the sculpting's been good, the surfacing has been solid. I just think like, oof, this fairway is really big. Like, I think we've gone from like all of the very tight and arbitrarily punishing holes to this one, which is just massive. So, so we went from like there's the handful of impossible drives to one that is just automatic. You can't possibly miss. And this really, really big green for a wedge shot. Like, yeah, I think there needs to be a little, like, to me it's like you need to shave off some of the roughness of the very hard holes and then add it to this one. Yeah. So it's like, other than the illegal pin here, um yeah, like that green slope's that's dicey. Definitely an illegal pin. Um but oh, almost made it. But outside of just like a crazy pin location, there's not really any challenge to this hole. It's just very straightforward. It's hit a drive to a big open massive fairway with no hazards in play, then to another really big open green. that you then bogey because pin on yellow slope. Yeah, and this one's like at least that the bunkers here serve a strategic purpose, but like this is another one where we've gone from very narrow green or fairways to just massive ones. So I think for for your next course, there's a lot of a lot of stuff of like taking the time to do a lot of play testing and kind of really think out like what are the strategically what am I asking the player to do on this hole? Like does this idea make sense? Like in terms of like, oh, I have this short par 4. Like, okay, you have a short par 4. It's like, so what's the decision the player has to make? Like, what is the player taking on? Things like, you know, do I give you a really easy layup option and then try to coax you to hit a very hard shot to drive the green? If I make hitting the green pretty easy, like does it have a really crazy green that's hard to putt? That sort of thing. So you're thinking of things about like, does the size of the fairway fit the hole that I want? Or it's like if you have a 500-yard par 4, like you don't want your tightest fairway. You don't want to take driver out of your player's hands because the challenge of that hole is the length. So there's a certain way that that you might, or certain considerations you would make for a long par 4 versus a short par 4 where you can do things like that can be a lot tighter and you can have some more wild green contours, things like that. It's like, but you would things that you wouldn't do on a 500-yard par 4. All right, let's see. I might even go up another club. See if that's enough. Oh, that might be too much. So yeah, I think so. That would just be my recommendation on this one. Is just tightening up the ideas. There are some that at least the first playthrough you kind of look at, and I'm not entirely sure what the goal is there or what it's asking me to do. Alternating between shots that are just automatic versus shots that are just arbitrarily punishing, that sort of thing. But yeah, like this one I think is probably like that one part, the first par 3. What's it? Number 4, number 5, I think. That one, like you hit the mark dead on in terms of difficulty, playing interest, that sort of thing. Like that was great, and there hasn't been as many kind of big hits since then. There's been holes that play, okay, but none that really grabbed me as far as playing interest, and then some that are just baffling. None that I would qualify as being truly unfair, but there's definitely a couple shots that teeter on that edge. But yeah, I mean, with a couple exceptions, the green sculpting's been good. Sizes are a little all over the place. Some of them have been great. Some of them have drifted on the big side. Like this one, like this is probably a great size green for this hole. It's framed nicely. Like this is a solid hole, I think. I'll probably still make it real dicey, but that's my fault because I hit a bad shot. Like this, I have no problem with this slope being here because it's one of those where, yeah, like it's here to punish bad shots. If you hit a terrible shot, then you're left with, something difficult. Whereas, like, there's a couple places where, oh, I feel like, it asked me to hit this shot. I hit this shot, and this might be another dicey pin location. Yeah, I think that's something to file under things that to look for during playtesting. 'Cause I definitely do like play test, like, or at least do like flyovers to check visual stuff. But in terms of like playtesting, like I'm definitely doing every hole multiple times, trying all of the options that like if I give you options off the tee, I'm trying all of them, trying them in different conditions, that sort of things. Occasionally different club sets. Like there's a lot to consider when you're playtesting. Yeah, and this is like the bunkers guard that corner nicely. So actually, yeah, I think that's a fair tee shot for that hole. It's a little arbitrary with master clubs. Like, okay, well, if I take on the corner, I'm ending up in those bunkers. I don't know. Maybe I could have carried it, but it just asks you, okay, hit it to the edge of the dog leg, and that shot is, the fairway's big enough that hitting it isn't really an issue. Yeah, this is an interesting green. I don't know. Like, generally, I'm not the biggest fan of greens that run away from you. Outside of like stuff that you're hitting a wedge into, like this might be on the edge of being very dicey in terms of playability. It's it doesn't go all the way out to being unfair. Get out of there. But yeah, that one is like I don't mind hard holes, and that one I think is okay. Ooh, what's this one? Okay. Yeah, this one's gonna be this might be a big miss for me. The idea is there, but the whole idea of I don't know. I feel like you should never ask somebody to hit a tee shot on a par 4 and then ask them to hit a longer second shot. Oh god, that's terrible. Because this is going to be, what, 200 in? Yeah, it's like you have to hit a 7 iron off the tee, and then you're hitting a 5 iron into this green. Like, that is a massive forced carry. And there's absolutely no layup options. It's like your options are hit this weird layup shot, and then hit this just crazy long forced carry second shot. I mean, it's doable, but get out of there, you idiot. Oh, no. No. Sorry, my cat is incredibly insistent in getting into trouble right now. My apologies. So yeah, this is one where it's like you really can't quite drive it most of the time, so then you just have to play it the wonky way. So, I mean, the idea of like a heroic carry over the canyon is a cool idea that just I don't think was I don't think it's quite there in the execution. But other than that, like the look and feel of the course is great. I just think it needs some playability tweaks. I like this green complex. It looks nice. I like the like if I'm gonna grill you a little bit on the rock work earlier, credit where credit is due is I think this looks a lot more natural than the rock work elsewhere. Like this is some quality rock work. I gotta check something. Let's see here. Yeah, we're good. Yes, exactly. Petty would be proud. Those are some good rocks. All right. Let's see here. This is a like all of a sudden I feel like we've almost dived into pseudo Rainer territory with this very geometric green. Like I don't. Also, I do like the rock work back here. That's some more good rock work. You lose me a little bit on the right. Like now we get just very giant round looking rocks. Stuff over here looks great. Stuff off to the left, less so, but not terrible. This one is, I don't know. This hole's just a little bit of a mess in a couple ways. Like you have your very geometric green with the waste, like very rugged natural waste bunkering. So this is kind of odd clash in styles there. So that's going on. Then it's probably doable, but I think this whole idea works for a shorter hole. Like there's a lot of areas that are like the front places where you'd want to put pins are unreachable from here. Like this probably like this is a short hole green to me. Like like a short template, especially with the big square shape. Like just throw some contours in here and this is a short green, like a perfect one. And then lastly, just visually, there's so much empty space between you and the hole that's just kind of unfilled. Which to me, it screams like I think the tees need to be moved up substantially, and you make this a short par three. Like dial the contours up. Um, yeah, and it's like so the big like death if you miss left thing. Like what you've got here screams short par three, and that would solve a lot of the issues I have with this hole. Also, I really dig what you did with the green, with like the geometric, like short template style green, or like like the full Rainer green. It just really doesn't fit with this course. So I'd make it a little more organic shape or green shape, or put this hole on a Rainer style course. Because it's like there's some cool Rainer ideas in there. It's just there we go. But yeah, like that big severe drop off to the left, great hazard for a short hole. Go tuck a pin on the left, like that would be really cool. This is probably uphill a bit. I might be able to carry it with the wind, but yes, I can. All right. Now we've got like a Biarritz green. Has there been like all sorts of templatey stuff on this course that I just haven't caught? Or are we just kind of randomly diving into that now? I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, there's I mean this definitely feels like it was on purpose. But it, I'm not. That's okay. So that's I dig the idea of uh par 5 with a Biarritz green. Like that's a cool idea that I don't think I've seen elsewhere. So props for that. Like the idea is great. Execution's okay. Um and again, it's almost jarring jumping straight into like the going from like this kind of rugged natural feeling course to like, okay, well now I'm going to do all this geometric stuff and Rainer template stuff. All right. This is it's a different whole idea. I don't mind it. I think that a little wonky but solid. I don't know what to hit to this thing. Driver's definitely going to be too much. It's 102 feet down. I don't think I can get 2 wood there. I don't know. I guess I just go hit out this way. Also, it's definitely interesting. Yeah, so this one, it's kind of a wonky whole idea, but I kind of like this one. In terms of, oh, hey, like at first I'm like, hey, why are you putting all the hazards short? Um, and just making like hitting driver outright arbitrary. Like it's kind of interesting the idea of the safe play hitting driver past the hole and then hitting a wedge back into it. Like you get some definite quirk points for that. I think that's kind of cool. But like it's kind of an odd choice for a closing hole to me. Like I don't know. Like to me like you want your 18th hole to be heroic in some way, like either challenging or like usually like a long hole with maybe like you can have either like I don't know, like I don't want to just stick with the cliche long par 4 or gettable par 5 as a closing hole, but like I don't know if I don't know. Like I feel like that's a great hole that would fit in the middle of a round. It feels a little weird closing on quirky, potentially drivable par 4. But anyway, like overall thoughts. Sculpting, surfacing, like all of the technical aspects of this course are awesome. Just really solid all the way throughout. Um, Playability, it gets a little wonky in spots. There's close it with a par is birdie par 3. I don't know if I follow that comment. I mean, just not, whatever. No worries. Just not quite entirely sure what Thomas is saying with that one. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading it weird. Anyway, like a lot of potential to that course. I'm definitely digging a lot of the ideas there. It just probably for every one idea that I thought was super cool, there was one that I was just completely lost with. Oh, also I completely forgot about the dam in the background. That's a cool idea. Definitely digging it. You could, I mean, you just showcase it on that one hole, and it's kind of in the background. Like, I think you could probably get a little closer, and maybe like frame it in the shot, so you're showing it off a little bit more. Like it's really like it's a really cool thing that obviously you put a lot of time and effort into, and you don't quite show it off. Like, it's very easy to just miss it, but that's a minor thing. But anyway, pretty solid course overall. I like it. Just what do you want to call it? Just a couple playability tweaks in there. Um, smoothing over some kind of holes that play a little wonky, and you've got a real contender there. Like I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what you do in the future. But yeah. So anyway, thank you for the course. And thanks everybody for tuning in. But but yeah, I'll probably cut it here this evening. I've got some stuff I need to get done. So, anyways, thanks again. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, I'll get some more playthroughs done this week, and we'll see you then. Have a good one.